You want to find an alien intelligence? Forget building a spaceship. Turns out all you really need is a submarine. Seriously, there's a mind so profoundly different from ours that evolved right here on Earth, hiding just beneath the waves. And getting to know it, well, that might just change how you think about intelligence itself. That quote, it's from a philosopher of science, Peter Godfrey Smith, and his whole idea is that the octopus is basically evolution's other attempt at building a complex mind. It's like a completely separate, independent experiment in creating consciousness, and the results, they are truly mind-bending. So what is it about them? What makes them feel so profoundly alien? I promise you, it's a lot more than just having 8 arms and no bones. To really get it, we have to go back in time. Way, way back. Okay, so let's dive into part one, an alien mind on Earth. To grasp just how different they are, we have to trace their evolutionary journey all the way back to a time before complex minds were even a thing. Just look at these two paths. We're talking about a split that happened somewhere around 600 to 750 million years ago. Our last common ancestor was this tiny, simple, flatworm-type creature. From that single point, our branch, the vertebrates, went one way. Their branch, the mollusks, went a completely different way. The complex minds we have today were built in total isolation from each other. So now for section two, a body full of brains. This evolutionary split didn't just lead to different ways of thinking, it led to a completely different way of being. You see, for an octopus, the mind isn't just in its head. 500 million. Let that number sink in. That's roughly how many neurons a common octopus has. Just for some perspective, that's in the same ballpark as a dog. But, and this is the crucial part, it's where those neurons are that changes everything. And here's the kicker. Unlike us, where pretty much everything is centralized in our skulls, a full 2/3 of an octopus's neurons aren't in its brain at all. They're out in its arms. Each arm has its own cluster of nerve cells. It's essentially got its own mini brain. So think about it this way. When you reach for a cup of coffee, your brain is like a micromanager, sending super specific instructions to your arm, your hand, your fingers. But an octopus brain, it acts more like a CEO. It gives a high-level command, something like, hey, arm number 3, there's a tasty crab over there. And the arm itself, using its own intelligence, its own sensors, it just figures out the rest. It's a mind that is somehow both one and many, all at the same time. On to our third section, clever tools and tricks. So what can a body full of brains actually do? Well, this totally unique setup leads to some incredible behaviors, stuff that really challenges our whole definition of intelligence. Okay, get this. This is the veined octopus. It'll find discarded coconut shells on the ocean floor, obviously not a natural part of its world. Then it carries them around, which is awkward and clumsy and slows it down. Why? It's planning for the future. It knows it might need a shelter later, and when the time is right, it assembles the shells into a portable fortress. That's not just instinct, that is tool use, foresight, and complex planning. And the list of their genius is just wild. In labs, they figured out how to open screw-cap jars, even childproof ones. There's so many stories of them escaping their tanks at night, crawling across the floor to steal fish from a neighboring tank, and then sneaking back home. One famous octopus named Otto hated a bright overhead light so much, he learned to short-circuit it by shooting jets of water at it. They even hunt with fish, and they've been seen literally punching their fish partners if they get lazy. But their intelligence isn't just about solving puzzles. Now we're seeing more and more evidence that they have a rich, complex, and pretty mysterious inner world. An octopus's skin is basically a high-definition biological screen. It's covered in these special cells called chromatophores, which let it change color and texture in an instant. This isn't just for hiding, it's a visual language. They use it to signal their mood, what they plan to do next. They literally wear their thoughts on their skin. And this discovery right here hints at something much deeper. Scientists have found that octopuses have two distinct sleep stages. There's a quiet sleep, where they're calm and pale, and then there are these brief, frantic periods of active sleep, which looks remarkably similar to our own REM sleep. You know, the stage where humans dream. During this active sleep, their skin just erupts with color. You can watch an octopus turn dark and mottled as if it's stalking a crab, then suddenly flash brilliant white as if it's escaping a predator. So it begs the question, are we literally watching their dreams play out on their skin? It's just a profound, incredible thought. So that brings us to section 5, recognizing another mind. I mean, when you start seeing real evidence of an inner world, of dreams, you're forced to ask some bigger questions. What kind of mind are we actually dealing with here? And how should we treat it? Our own laws are actually starting to catch up to the science. For years, cephalopods have had special protections and research. But just look at this timeline. In 2022, the UK government officially recognized them as sentient beings. That's a formal declaration that they aren't just biological machines, but creatures that can experience feelings like pain, distress, and maybe even joy. It's us legally admitting, yeah, somebody's home. But this all leads to a kind of beautiful and tragic paradox. They have this incredible intelligence, a nervous system that's so expensive to build and run, but they only live for a year or two, and they're almost completely solitary. They just don't have the time or the social structure to build a culture, to pass all that knowledge down through generations. In this quote, it just hits you right in the gut. It's a heartbreaking reality. A mother octopus lays her eggs, guards them without ever eating, and dies right around the time they hatch. The father's long gone by then. So every single octopus starts its life as an orphan, forced to figure everything out with that brilliant mind all on its own. So we're left with this incredible alien intelligence that evolved down a completely different road, trapped in a cycle of brilliant but very short and lonely lives. It really makes you wonder, though, if their evolution had taken just a slightly different turn, or if they were given a few million years without us humans in the way. Could this alien mind on Earth become the planet's next dominant intelligence? And what kind of world would they even build?